So tell me, do you like to be confronted? Like low key, do you? Or do you get offended? Do you cringe? Do you get the sweaty palms? Does your heart start to race? Or do you live for it? Do you constantly walk around, rope around, just looking for confrontation, looking for the next person to annoy, or just to say you don't agree with what they're saying? Oh, man, talk about talk about growth. I swear, I think it's crucial for growth, being able to be in uncomfortable situations, be confronted, confront others. Man, I guess for me, I'm kind of ranting about what's been going on recently, and there's been a lot. Uh, Confronted, a business partner, with my workers, with podcast guests, with my fiance. I mean, good and bad. Things that you need to discuss, things that will eventually turn into growth, but they suck and you don't want to talk about because we don't like to do uncomfortable things. I mean, we don't. We like life to be easy. We like it to just stream like Netflix streams. Every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, new episode, new episode, new episode. That way, you don't have time to think about the in between. Think about what's good, what's right. What am I doing with myself in my life? You don't. I mean, the way this world is made, the way it is here, specifically where I'm at in America and more closer, in Chicago, it's just like boom, 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 to the point where you don't have time to think about anything else or do anything else. So, what I'm getting at is confrontation. And yes, that is the immigrant in me. I can't always say words perfectly, so excuse me, but I have a problem with a few words every once in a while. Not embarrassed, not embarrassed. Kind of, I work on it. I live to accept it, that it just comes out every once in a while, and it is what it is. But I think it's crucial. Confrontation is crucial for growth, crucial for taking whatever it is, your partnership, your love, your relationship, your life, whatever, your team, to the next level. Obviously things could end very, very badly, and maybe one of you could go to jail. Yeah, I'm not encouraging that. I'm not. But in a grown adult sort of manner, I encourage that all the time. I think it's great. I think only good things come out of it. And yeah, just wanted to thank every single one of you for tuning in today, listening in. If you are listening in, this episode is brought to you by Nux. Guys, guys. I know where I'm at. Summer's coming to an end. It's officially fall. I mean, in Chicago, it's pretty extreme. It's gonna be freezing here before we know it. But that doesn't mean we aren't working on our bods for next summer. It's never too early to start. That means we're probably out running. We're at the gym maybe more often. When you're at the gym, when you're outside, at least there's air around you. When you're at the gym, it's an enclosed space. If you start sweating, you start smelling, people will notice. There's females around, and sometimes, I mean, that could make or break it for you. Check out Nux Men's 3-in-1 refresher spray, mynux.com, KNUCKS, mynux.com. This stuff works. I've tried it out. I've tried it out a few times. I wish I had more of it. Hope I'm hoping I get some more sent in the mail soon. But this stuff works, and no aluminum ingredients. Especially if you're into making sure things are pretty clean out there. So I can't encourage you enough to try this stuff out, guys. You know the drill. This stuff goes on your armpits, your undercarriage, your sports equipment, shirts, you name it. mynux.com. Check it out. Anybody else out there looking to sponsor a podcast? We were recently featured number 20 on USA entrepreneurship in the iTunes categories. And we have a sports show, which is actually currently number 17 in sporting news. Awesome. Great job. Shout out to Mac and Black, and a new local level sports show, local level local show where we interview local businesses and entrepreneurs that we kind of want to go deeper into their stories. But yeah, back to everything else. I recently, had some experiences, and today kind of topped it off. I had an interview with a podcast guest, and things got a little heated. I've never had a heated moment in a podcast ever before with a guest, and I kept my cool. I took things as is, but you know, I guess, and it's totally fine. I wasn't offended, but the guest, I probably didn't know as much about the podcast. That's my fault. I probably should have maybe spoke a little bit more about my background, my backstory. I usually do, but I sort of just forgot. I thought I mentioned some things, but I guess it's my fault. And we got into certain topics, and it kind of started to go against a lot of things that I say and do, especially when it comes to leaving the 9 to 5 life and quitting your job and um, not not necessarily that's exactly what I always talk about, because I don't. I talk about how it's something to try out. I'm all for it because it worked for me, but for you, being being part of a business, being part of a greater picture, is the greatest thing that will ever happen. And you might be the best at what you do, and that's what makes you happy, and you have the benefits, and you aren't living in the daily stress that I live in. So it's something that, it's not for everybody. So when I talk about it, I always make it very well known that I just open up eyes and ears to possibilities out there, not making anybody go out there and quit their jobs. It's not, whatever you feel like doing at the end of the day is what you do. I just give kind of my feedback on things and my outlook and how I look at life, about being able to take control of your life by going from being bossed to boss. You take control of your life, not necessarily meaning that you have to go and quit everything you do. But yeah, and I sort of explained that to the guest afterwards. I think things turned out very good. It was actually, we're both very professional about it. I obviously had to defend my show and my stance, but in a very professional and I guess mature way. And then we both went kind of back and forth a little bit in a very mature way. It was great. And we both kind of came to a medium at the very end, that it's the person's choice to consume what content they want to consume. And that if you feel like, putting this out there or this out there, it's the consumer's choice at the end of the day. And it's good to have different options and opinions. So it was actually it was very, very liberating, I guess. It was it was nice to be challenged, and then to be able to talk it through and resolve the issue in a very professional manner. It was actually, it was probably the one podcast, uh, guest interview that I had that I will always remember, because it made me feel very uncomfortable. It got my attention, got my blood flowing. That's for sure. It made me feel very challenged, and I really had to think. I really did. I really had to put my game face on and spit out some game, and it was awesome. It was good. Thanks. I guess I'm appreciative of the moment, and I took the moment and made the best of it. A couple other moments, kind of while I'm on this topic, I have been I had some confrontation with my some of my employees. I had to say, I've been I'm getting more involved. I feel like I started neglecting a few things here and there. I'm not as involved in the day-to-day stuff anymore, but that shouldn't mean that I'm not involved in the company. So that means I have to make my presence more known. And this was actually part of another confrontation with my business partner, who is my mentor as well. And that was about me kind of, just because when I'm the CEO, it doesn't mean I could just let things run themselves. And it's sort of something I needed a reminder of. I needed a, kind of kick in the ass again about, when you're overseeing the whole entire business, you need to make sure your presence is known always. And you have to be available to people all the time. Not all the time, because you'd go crazy, but you still have to be there, show yourself enough, do things enough to the point where people don't forget about you and don't forget about their leader, that their leader is there and that leader is present. And I sort of started neglecting that a little bit, because I hired some new people, got some things a little automated, kind of just focused on only the business development part, not as much actually developing our people. and that's my fault. So I've been kind of, it was another confrontation that I didn't want to hear, because I don't like to hear and be told of ways I should do things or try to do things. So it was a little tough to tell, but it was a little tough to hear. But I was humble about it. I took it. We talked things through, and I realized, at the end of the day, there are things I could be doing different. There are, and I've been implementing some of those things, and I've already kind of feel better about where things are headed. I feel like I already learned a few things about where we're at right now, about our stance with the business, about going forward into winter season, into next spring, into next year, into our third operating year, which is wild to say that it's going to be we're in year 3 right now as we speak. So it's wild to know that we've come this far. But all these like, moments of confronting people and getting confronted, and like just talking things through, issues, my issues, their issues, it's all been for the good. Every time I had to do it, or I was about to do it, or I was in process of it happening, it was so uncomfortable for me. My, blood was flowing. I was getting anxious. I was pissed at times, so emotional, so many emotions go through. But at the end of the day, like, I just got to suck it up and just do these things. These things are the things that make you grow. And, it's hard to go through life not doing this, and not being in communication, and not speaking your feelings and hearing to others, and then working the best solution to, resolving issues. If you don't do that, and it's hard to be a CEO, it's hard to run a business and not do these things, unless, you're running it, solo, you're running the show all alone. Yeah, that's different. Or you have contractors, and could be a little different, depends. But when you have employees, there's a certain level of involvement that always has to be there. And it's not just running a business, it's anything you do, anything in life. And it's been good. It's been interesting last week or so. Hope you all are crushing it. I know you are. And I know this year is coming to an end, and I feel like we get a little lazy this time of year. At least I kind of always did, because I'm like, oh, you got Halloween coming up, which is like my favorite season, fall, and then Thanksgiving, and then the holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, or all the others, and New Year's, and it's like, whoa, time to just enjoy, put my sweatpants and sweater on, eat up, gain some weight, start losing it again next year. But no, like, no, 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 no. That's, it's all about consistency, and it's all about, getting, it's all about finding that middle point, the middle ground. If you just do good all year and then slack off the last 3 months or so, 2 months, how is that? How is that going to put you ahead? How is that going to help you get towards your goals? Um, I mean, not to say there's not methods out there. I don't know. There's no right way or wrong, but you should always still stay focused. I think it's all about balance. Life is about balance, and from many studies I've read and books I've read, it's all about balance at the end of the day. Getting enough of the good, a little bit of the bad, and a little bit of everything in between. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate all of y'all. Miro, we slow here, like we are slow, though we really, really aren't. And thanks for listening to Boss to Boss podcast, the number 2 boss. If you're listening on iTunes or not, please check us out on iTunes and leave us a review, 5 stars preferred. It just means so much. We're trying to grow our reviews up there to help us get ranked a little bit more higher, and then that way we could get even better guests and provide you with even more content and more content and content on top of content. But don't forget, we will always stay real. I will always stay real. I wouldn't ever sell out. I will make sure that this content comes out of my mouth and not anybody else's. Have an awesome rest of your week. Talk to you soon. Crush it. Peace.
That is all for this episode of Boss to Boss. Your next step is to visit bosstoboss.com, where you will find proven techniques followed by professionals to help you make that next step. Again, that is boss2boss.com. And remember, the time is now.